paralinguistic piece, which is another large part, is don't obsess. You know, the word paralinguistic can be confusing. So very simply, right, it's the packaging. How are we packaging our message? Now, today I'm talking to you through Zoom. Okay, so this is an online recording. So it's packaged in a way that you can access me through the media. Okay, but part of the packaging is my backdrop. I want a backdrop that I feel is representative of me as a person. So I've packaged myself in a way that I'm quite colorful. I've got a light on. I don't want to sit here in complete darkness. The books and the art and the flowers, everything's a bit colorful, but they also send a sort of a message around how I want you to perceive me as a person. Now that can extend itself to, right, are we writing black font on a white background? Email, traditional letters, you know, traditional card invites, for example, black font on a white background nowadays could be deemed classic, or in some people's perception is obsolete. And I'm guilty of that. I've had a conversation very recently saying, oh, what you want me to do is just write that. That looks like I'm typing a letter as a secretary. It wasn't meant as any judgment, but I just was so not used to communicating in that way. It made me also realize that there's a part of the community or a part of my demographic that still likes to read black font on a white background, emails, letters, all those kinds of things. And why not? And who are we to say it's wrong? Because the point is, in the worlds we all function in an interconnected world, we've got a lot of demographics and a lot of people who need or want or might have to communicate with us. And so if we can find a way that they can interact with, we're going to get a better engagement. Very simple. Mobile phones, okay? Mobile phones allowed us to take our work with us, reach in our pocket, have a conversation, right, which made sort of the old telephone construct obsolete. A phone on your desk in your office was a symbol of your importance way back when. But now anyone can have a call on a phone on the run, which then led to messaging, you know, text messaging, people reading messages in the moment. It was convenient, it was expedient. Okay, so think about that. Some people today are used to messaging in different ways, and that's all part of the package. Social media, so I can think of my own professional life. I've gone from the written word through to telecommunications, through to messaging, through to social media chat rooms. Okay, now what these things do, they allow us to articulate. And if you look in social media now, the packaging there is a lot of people using visual emojis to transmit meaning rather than the written word, because it's fast and it's expedient. Again, remember, the emoji doesn't always interpret correctly. So we've got to sort of work to stay ahead of our game here. But hopefully now you're understanding that message constructs can be quite complex, and they can be interpreted in different ways. And if we really want to engage with our stakeholder group or our friends, family, whatever, we have to find a way to work at it and get everyone feeling that they're part of the communications piece. Okay, and familiarity breeds contempt. And think about this. Think about how many times you've been around family. Now, some families get on like a house on fire, but there's plenty of times you go to a wedding or you have Christmas or a birthday celebration, and we all assume that a family member, you know, John's going to behave like that, and Marissa's going to behave like that, and Matthew's going to be like this. And we do it all the time. Right now, and that's called familiarity. And if you're in a monolingual environment, particularly in a professional monolingual environment, and we're all used to communicating one way, then we assume that everyone else needs to communicate or does communicate that way as well. And one of the things we come across a lot these days is the thing about transitioning from military to civilian, which we get a lot at the DOL level. But in civilian world, you transition from company to company within the same industry or industry to industry. And this is where our messaging construct can be a blocker if we don't make the effort to understand the people we're engaging with. If we're bringing someone onto our team and we make it really difficult for them to understand what we do, what we're talking about, why you would want to be here, they're not really going to be on our team. Equally, if you're trying to engage with an organization, get on board with a team, a company, or a new group of friends, if you're not willing to learn their language, okay, if you're not willing to package yourself up or package your linguistic skills up in a way that they can connect with, then you're probably going to struggle to get engaged with that group or get that job that you're looking for. So think about that. Language can be a blocker, but it doesn't have to be a blocker if you spend a bit of time understanding not just the way people speak or communicate, but how they package their messaging. You can find some commonality. Commonality is the anchor point to your next stage of success. Once you've got some degree of commonality, then you can work your way towards a stronger engagement with that group or getting that job. Because people, once they understand you, then psychologically, they're gonna connect with you. So language is really important, the words we use, and packaging, the paralinguistic piece, packaging, how we use them, how we package them is, more important, because before people hear us, they're going to resonate with how the message is presented, whether it's through a phone, whether it's through a chat room, whether it's through an email, a letter, in a magazine, on the TV, okay? A picture paints 1,000 words, right? Why would you rather watch TV than, say, listen to a radio broadcast? Probably because the act of listening requires you to be really engaged with the program, whereas on TV it's just there and someone else has done all the work and the images just go across in front of your face. So think about that, because we don't talk about listening, okay, and listening is part of the package, right? And it's going to segue us nicely into the non-verbal cue.